freedom. Yay, finally we are out of lockdown. G'day to all you lovely people and welcome back to my channel. I'm Kathy and today we are going to talk about what I got up to in October. Not much. Yeah, I'll confess, not all that much. We only just got out of lockdown. Only. I think a week and a half ago they lifted some restrictions and it was only a few days ago that most restrictions have been lifted. We were able to go to some places, restaurants and cafes were reopened, and I was able to get my hair cut, and I was even able to get real coffee. Oh, how much have I missed coffee? I've only been once though because I was afraid it was just going to be jam-packed. Surprisingly, it wasn't, but most of October I spent at home and the weather has not cooperated. It has been really chilly for October. I'm still wearing winter woolies and this is now November, the last month of spring. And no surprise, our government acts like climate change really isn't a thing. I don't know if I should even get into this, but I am so ashamed of our federal government who refuse to really make any substantial commitment to climate change. Everyone else is talking about 2030, not our government. No. They are insisting it's going to take a lot longer. What a load of bullshit. Basically, our government refuses to make a stronger commitment to climate change because it might upset all the fossil fuel companies in Australia. Yeah, it is such a short-sighted attitude. I think most people would concede that our climate has changed. Just look at all the raging fires that were taking place all around the world, let alone the ones that we had 2 summers ago. But hey, it's more important to keep big businesses happy than do something substantive. I stray from the point. I want lovely sunny days where I can sit outside on my deck and just enjoy the plants around me. But I was only able to do it for a couple of days last month. However, it's supposed to be 30 degrees soon and I'm like, oh, okay, finally we're having some decent weather. The truth is there is a lot of repotting I need to do outside. I have done a few things already. I've had to move some of my herbs, which I bought like this big, into massive pots because they're so overgrown. And I'm trying to combine more plants together so that I have less pots to water. That is something I'm not looking forward to with the hot weather, is having to water all my potted plants anyway outdoors. That can be a pain in the butt. I'll confess. Though the rest of my garden, all my garden beds, my grass, it is all on a irrigation system, so it is automated and I don't have to worry about that. November though, I think is going to be different. I am so looking forward to going out, to seeing friends, seeing family, since we are now finally out of lockdown. We have reached 80% of our population 16 and over being fully vaccinated. And I think it's something like 92% have had the first dose. Also, our government has decided that if you want to attend certain places where people gather, you are going to have to show that you are fully vaccinated. So of course there are people complaining about that, objecting to their civil liberties being infringed. I have to laugh because so many people wouldn't even know what their civil liberties are. And let's be honest, compared to some countries where you are locked up if you even say boo against a government, we have so many freedoms in Australia. We are quite entitled and privileged, and yet people feel, this is an infringement of our liberties. Seriously. If they had a genuine reason for not wanting to get vaccinated, I would be on board with that. They don't. I'll give you an example. Now, I've told you guys before, I am in a wheelchair scooter. I am not able to do certain things for myself, so I have different carers who come 3 times a week to assist me with those things I can't do. A carer came last week, somebody I haven't met before, a young girl, probably in her early 20s. And I asked her, I said, "Are you vaccinated?" And she said, "No, for personal reasons." Holy cow. That was my reaction. I laughed. I thought, what? Personal reasons? Are you kidding? You are dealing with the disabled who already have health issues. What the hell is she even doing seeing clients who are high risk and not be vaccinated? And she thought that that was okay, that she could make that choice, even though it might put these people at risk. And I think what compounded it was that she wasn't willing to tell me why. Because I asked her, was it a medical reason? She said, no, it is personal. As far as I'm concerned, when people claim it is personal, it is simply that she has no reason, or she knows that her reasons will not stand up to scrutiny. I don't think we are entitled to claim personal reasons for putting somebody's life in danger, possibly. Maybe not mine, but she might give it to me, who then could give it to my mum, who is very high risk, or my best friend, who's also very high risk. That didn't concern her. I got so angry about it that I told her, as far as I was concerned, she was an extremely selfish individual who didn't care about anyone else but herself, and she needs to leave. So I kicked her out. Yeah, because I made a decision last week that no vax, no entry into my home. What a lot of these anti-vaxxers don't understand, I think, is that just like they claim they are entitled not to be vaccinated to make that choice, then me as a person who is vaccinated also is entitled to make a choice that I don't want them near me. They don't appreciate that. They just think, oh, we're martyrs. Yeah, without giving you a reason. Give me a goddamn reason to understand why you have made this choice. But they're not even willing to do that. It's like everyone has forgotten how many diseases we have eradicated through vaccinations. Because we have. Polio, I think, has been eradicated in Australia. Smallpox has. Whooping cough has been eradicated. Why? Because all the kids, including me, were vaccinated so that the next generations didn't have to worry about those diseases. And this argument, because I've heard this one too, that, well, you could have an adverse reaction. That's always been a possibility with all vaccines. Every single one. They are not foolproof. And I honestly don't think it is a fear of the risks involved with the vaccines. I think it is just that people have become extremely selfish. Like they are the only ones on the planet. That we don't live in a community, a society, where we interact with people all the time. This is what I always come back to. We live with other people. There are vulnerable people in our community. We make such a big deal, rightly so, to protect children because they're vulnerable. So why then do we not make just as much effort to protect those that are vulnerable due to their health issues? Why is that not as important? It should be. I think it's because so many people, particularly younger people, assume that they're always going to have their health. And they cannot empathize or understand what it is like when your body doesn't work properly. To be disabled, for example, or elderly. But that, I think, is a topic for another day. I know I went on a bit of a rant about the anti-vaxxers, but It is becoming a real issue and dividing people in Melbourne anyway. And perhaps I'm a little hardlined. I don't care. Like I've said before, I'm not as much concerned about me getting it, though the truth is that it would impact on me more than somebody who isn't disabled. But I am bloody concerned about giving it to my mum or my best friend or anyone else who is high risk. That scares me. That is why I do what I have to ensure I can protect them as best I can. Okay, let's move on from there. What have I been doing? I have been recording a lot of videos. Seriously, you guys are probably aware that I have been reviewing the Dresden Files series of books, and there are 17 of them. And I finally re-recorded my plant tour, house plant tour. Yes, I know, it's taken me a while. I tried to record it back in May, I think it was, but it was always so gloomy every time I tried to do it that some of the footage didn't come out. And then I had a lot of issues with carers and I just couldn't get it done. And in the end, I decided, no, I will do it in spring. All the footage has been recorded. I haven't edited it yet. I also have to do a voiceover, which is a pain, but I anticipate that I will be bringing it out this month sometime. Don't know when yet. And yes, I bought a new computer, yay! Or ordered it anyway, it hasn't arrived yet. Mine is 7 years old. It has lasted really well, but it struggles with editing and it's just gotten out of date now. It is struggling with quite a few programs. And I've been wanting to get a new computer for several months now, and I finally did it. I finally ordered it. You don't want to know how much I pay for it, but it is a beast. It really is. It's a beast. I generally like to spend more on a computer because I know it will last much, much longer than if I just got the standard ones. So I always get one with very high specs. My last one lasted 7 years, which is pretty damn good. And I like desktops. Definitely prefer them to laptops. Laptops, yeah, just can't do as much as you can on a desktop. I spend so much time on it that I thought, yeah, I need to get a good one that I can rely on. And I can't wait to see how much easier it's going to be to edit on that thing. And I even bought one with flashing colours. Yeah, I decided I'm going to go whole hog this time. I usually like the very sedate kind of looking cases for my computers, but this time I want lights. I'll show you guys when I get it. I anticipate it will be in the next week or two. Yay! So that is extremely exciting, though I hate transferring files from my old computer to the new one. When you're a geek or a nerd like me, you tend to customize all the programs. You have all the settings just the way you like. It takes a long time to get it to that point. Usually takes me at least a week or two to get the new computer just the way I want it. Yeah, because I'm a geek, I did tell you. So what else have I been doing? My knitting has fallen by the wayside. I have not been in the mood. So this jumper that I'm redoing is half done, 2/3 of the way done, and I just can't be bothered. I have not been inclined to knit at all. I probably overdid it. I'm not even watching much television or TV shows or movies either, or YouTube. So what I've been doing is mainly reading every single night, which is something I haven't done in quite a long time. I always read some books during the year, but certainly not as many as I used to. And now I'm just reading like crazy. I finished American Gods, and I actually finished the Dresden Files. Yeah, I've read all but one, which is short stories. I think I've only read one Discworld book because I only have one other after that. So I ordered some more because I'd like to read several in a row. I also read several Stephen King books because I got a new one called Billy Summers, his latest, I think. And then I decided I have to read a few more Stephen King. So I read, I think, Elevation and The Institute, both that I haven't read before. I generally like to get several King books before I read them, because after finishing one, it's not enough. I want more. So I usually save them up and then read several together. I also started Slaughterhouse-Five. I think I've read halfway through. I am not loving it, so I'm finding it a bit hard to finish. But I've never read it, which is why I wanted to try it. I have to confess, after finishing the Dresden Files, I felt a little down because it was over, or so far anyway, and I didn't know what to read, and it's taken me a bit of time to decide what to start next because I wanted to read another series. But before I did that, I read The Last Wish, the prequel, I think, Witcher series book. It's actually short stories, and I'm not a fan of short stories, I will confess. So I didn't enjoy it all that much. I haven't read the next book, which I will, but I've ordered it, so I'm waiting for it because I keep buying more books. And instead, I started the Deathgate Cycle by Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman. It is one of my favourite series. I've been wanting to talk about these authors, but it's been so long since I read it that I decided to reread it. And I'm currently on the second book. I also started the Catherine Kerr De Very cycle, but I haven't really tackled it yet. I've been keeping it for when I have to go out rather than at home. Oh, I forgot to mention that there was something I just recently started watching. I'm only halfway through. And that is the Shadowbone television series. I had heard that it was much better than the books, which is not hard. But given that I have read at least 2 of the books, I was curious to see it. And yeah, unimpressed. What a surprise. Yeah, it reminded me so much of bloody Twilight. Sappy romance. And you know what? I actually do like romance. I have hundreds of romance books that I collected when I was in my teens because I can't get rid of any books. I don't read romances now, but I've always liked romances. So it's not that I mind a good romance. I just think this one is rubbish. So yeah, at this time, I'm not impressed with the television series. But I've decided I'm going to review it once I finish it. Since I've reviewed the book, I thought, why not review the television series too? So that has been mainly what I've been doing, reading and reading, lots and lots of reading. And I love that. I love curling up on my favourite armchair with a good book and just getting lost in it. Only problem is that I find it so hard to put them down that I end up going to bed at 5 in the morning, sometimes 6 or later. And it's really tough for me to stop reading sometimes. I just think one more chapter, one more chapter. I'm trying to break that habit. I'm trying to go to bed a little bit earlier, but I'll confess I am a night owl. I go to bed 4 and later. I generally don't go to bed early. I don't get up early either though. But this is just getting a little too out of hand now. That's what I think. And the other thing I've been doing is looking after my plants, doing some repotting. I've already mentioned I have repotted some of my outdoor plants, trying to combine them. I've also done that with some of my indoor plants, but I have a few more to check to see if they need to be repotted. Today, actually, my carer mentioned that my macho fern, which I repotted only a few weeks ago, she insists it is much bigger. I actually can't tell, perhaps because I see it every day, but she says no, it has definitely grown a lot bigger. So clearly that repot was successful. Yay! Now I'm going to show you a few plants that have annoyed the crap out of me. Pissed me off royally is how I put it. Yeah, I have reached the point that honestly, if a plant is going to give me grief, I just can't be bothered. I don't even want to try to save it anymore. I'm sick and tired of stressing over it. I definitely have a lot less patience with certain plants than I used to. So I am first going to show you my Aglaonema hot lady, who I think I talked about in my last wrap-up video. You want to see what's left? Yeah, seriously. This little shit. She is. Look at her. I got so mad at her last week because all her leaves were turning this colour. All of them. It's going to die, just like the others. So I took scissors and I just cut them all off. Yeah, I was so mad at her. There was supposed to be a new growth, but that is dying. I have checked her roots, they were fine. I am not overwatering her. I have no idea what the hell her problem is. And frankly, I don't care anymore. Yeah, so I moved her. She was behind me where I could see her every day. I can't bear to look at her anymore. So now she's behind the couch where I can't see her anymore. Yeah, I don't want to see her. And everyone keeps telling me aglaonemas are easy. Not for me. Yeah, I think that they're the devil's second cousin. It's spring. Sure, it may not be really warm, but it is not freezing. Everything else is growing so well, and I'm going to show you some things that are. But look at this. Tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I have no clue. I don't know if I even care anymore. I just want her to hurry up and die. Yeah, I'm so mean. But she was beautiful, so beautiful. I loved her because she was different, because she had such beautiful colouring. But she doesn't want to live, that's fine. I don't care anymore. Okay, maybe a little bit. Okay, next. Yeah, my Brazil. This decided to die as well. Don't ask me why. This is actually a cutting. I think she has rooted. I don't know. But this plant has given me grief since I got her. She wasn't healthy to begin with. I've got her hanging in my north-facing window so she gets great light, but she's not growing very well. I had also received a bonus plant when I ordered from nursery to you with a small Brazil cutting. I don't even know if I'd call it a cutting. It had some roots, and that died as well. So perhaps I did overwater. Regardless, I'm hoping she'll root. I think she has. I'm too scared to take her out of the pot, to be honest. I didn't want to risk her in water. That's why I decided to try soil propagation. It's not something I generally do. We'll see how it goes. But so far she's still alive, and I think she's been in this now at least a month, maybe more. Frankly, I've reached the point that I just don't care. If she dies, so be it. I'm not even sure if I will replace her. And next. Do you guys remember my Dieffenbachia Green Magic? I showed her in my last haul video, or the recent plants that I bought, including my Hoyas. I think I've had it maybe a month. This is what's left. Look at this little shit. Seriously. She killed off every single leaf. Every one. This one I anticipate is going to die as well. She has got a little bit of growth here, but hey, I don't trust this plant as far as I could throw her. Not that I will, but seriously, look at this. For no reason. I'm not overwatering her. She is getting very good light, I would say bright to medium, and yet this is what she does. These are not easy plants. I hate them. I am starting to hate Dieffenbachias as much as I hate aglaonemas. I just can't get them right. Now with the Dieffenbachia, I'm convinced that they do not like it when the temperatures drop. But it hasn't been that cold, and it's certainly not winter cold. And she's the only one who does this, other than the aglaonema. But the aglaonema, it's not cold because she survived winter no problem. Yeah, I am so frustrated with this plant. I've only had it for a few weeks. I've really reached the point I just don't want to know anymore. If they're going to be this difficult, then I'm not going to touch them. If it is the temperature, I'm not willing to keep my heaters on to keep one plant happy. Yeah, no thanks. Okay, so after that tale of woe, I thought I would end as usual with plants that are doing really well and surprising me, which I hope you enjoy looking at. Let's start with this. This is my Calathea crocata. Look at her. Isn't she adorable? She did suffer a little when I first got her, which was in winter, I think. She has been dropping some of her bottom leaves. She was getting a little bit crispy. She is right next to the humidifier, which she is definitely enjoying, and she's just put out all this new growth. Isn't it gorgeous? I really like this one. She is little, I think. I know I have a thing for little plants, right? But she's just too cute. She does remind me of the Calathea rufibaba. I think it's called the velvet Calathea. But she's doing so well. I think so. Whenever I see this much new growth, I'm happy. Especially considering she's about 2 meters back from the window. So the light she gets is definitely medium to low. And isn't she gorgeous? Ah, definitely a cutie. Speaking of the rufibaba Calathea, I have to show you mine. This is her now. Look at her go. Oh my God. Look at her. Look at all these new leaves. I have had this plant for 2 years. And as you can see, she is very stretched. Definitely stretching towards the light. In the 2 years I've had her, she's never had such short stems and she's never had that kind of growth. She's just going crazy. Clearly this one likes bright light. Clearly. I cannot get over the improvement of her. She's not even crisping, even though she is not right next to the humidifier. Though she is still in the same room that my humidifier is in. Perhaps that's sufficient. I just can't get over the growth. And they're all perfect. There are no crispy bits. I'm not used to this plant not having crispy bits. I would always be cutting off leaves. I can't wait to see what else she's going to do this summer. I've actually turned her so she can start growing on this side as well. And as you can see, she is. I am so proud of her. I love this plant. I probably should cut these off, right? But I don't want to. They're healthy, right? They're just a little floppy. Isn't she gorgeous? Calatheas, right? The prima donnas of the plant community. So I am told. Why the hell do I have no trouble with them, but give me an aglaonema or a Dieffenbachia and I'll kill them? Yeah, I don't know why some things are easier for some people and others are not. Anyway, beautiful. So glad to see her doing so well. And the last one I'm going to show you. These are all little plants actually. That was just accidental. I just noticed them in the last week and I decided to share them with you. This is my Pilea Moon Valley. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the Latin name. Look at her. Look how well she is doing. This plant did give me some grief when I first had her. She would bring out some beautiful leaves and then just kill them off, crisp away. She is now doing brilliantly. It doesn't mean she doesn't lose some leaves though. Yeah, I'm not going to lie and say that she's perfect because she ain't, but I've never seen her bring out such a big leaf like this one. She just looks so cute. I love her in this pot, even though it doesn't have a tray, and I wish it did. But I can't get over how well she's doing. I am considering putting her in a terrarium. I know I've talked about the terrarium. I just wasn't inclined to make one. I think once the weather warms up, I will want to make a terrarium. I want to put several things in it, like some bloody peperomias. And maybe this. I think she might be happier there. But I just love looking at her. She's in my kitchen, so I see her every time I make coffee, which is often, and I can't get over how well she's doing. Isn't she adorable? So cute. Well, that is all I've got to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed seeing some updates of my plants, the good and the bad and the ugly. And I hope you don't mind that I went on a bit of a rant about vaccinations. It is just a hot topic in Australia at the moment. But you know, I want to hear what you guys got up to in October, what you're looking forward to in November, and you can put it down in the comments or you can contact me on Instagram. Thank you as always for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate all of you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can do the usual. You can like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. Bye. Enjoyed. Oh God, start again. Speaking of the Ruth, being cooperative.